Hello everyone, Soggy Bottom here bringing another video. Um, this time I'm going to talk about Daredevil. Um, uh, I almost have a complete run of this. I'm so maybe 20 books short for a complete series. My one has got the sort of the avatar picture right here is cut out, but I'm okay with that. Uh, Daredevil is one of those books that since the success of Netflix, the book has gone up in value and in price. and I'm waiting until the price goes down a little bit, and I'll replace that. But if not, I'm still happy and content with just having that one right there. I'm just going to show probably the first 100 issues that I have. Like I said, I'm missing just maybe 20 more books, and then the series is complete. Um, of course, this one is with Purple Man, which is one of those. That book's actually gone up in price. I think because he was also on Netflix too. But uh, um, the thing about Daredevil is when I collected this book when I was I best speed this up a little bit because I want to make this a long video. I didn't. I almost had like sort of 12 books I always collect every single month. Daredevil was never like he was always like either 11 or 12. He was never within the top 10 books that I always wanted, but it was one of those books that I would get when basically I look at my book well, when I had a budget I would spend on books, and if I had some money left, I said, well, I got some money left, I got enough, let me get a Daredevil, and never made into the top 10 of books that I really say I just absolutely love. But the thing about that is that the book was never ever. I mean, like my top 10 books, there were some books I really liked, and then sometimes the series would go so far, then I got bored with it. Then I would drop the series, I move on to something else. Daredevil I never ever dropped. It was it was a book that no matter what, it was always in my collection, and uh, I just kept collecting them, um, not even paying any attention to it and everything like that, until I got this. Once I organized my books and I put them in numeric order, uh, I realized that I almost had a complete run of Daredevil. I mean, I couldn't believe that I had these many issues. I was really shocked by that. It's like I said, holy moly! It's like the book was never so high that it was in the top 10. It was always either 11 or 12 for me, but it was never so bad that I ever just dropped the book itself. I continued to collect Daredevil, and I always thought he was just this. He was never a boring character. He was really, really interesting. And then, of course, the golden age of the run of the series was when Frank Miller took it. That he, oh, then he, well, I remember stretch right then. I definitely knew that book would not get dropped because what Frank Miller did with Daredevil is with it's like with John Byrne and Chris Claremont did for X-Men. Um, he took Daredevil to another level. I mean, now the thing about Daredevil, he's one of those characters, or that his abilities is that has heightened senses, and but most of it is through training he got from a character called Stick, and he had this unique mixture of martial arts with gymnastics, and what Frank Miller did with it, it just when he especially drew him, and he had this way it did it. I call it the speedster effect that made him look like he was moving like Flash. You look at Frank Miller's, you'll know what I'm talking about, and it just really brought something to that. I don't see that. I'll have to show a picture of that, but you don't see that in too many of the other um, superhero comic books, like who people are like more into athletics and good martial art fighting. Um, Daredevil's basically he's not super strong or nothing like that. He's just at the peak of human condition a person can be at training. Of course, I mean he has the heightened senses. That's his true ability. But most of it is just more of good old fashioned going to the gym or just in an old warehouse with Stick training to enhance himself. And he was always one of those characters. He was the underdog superhero. He wasn't the type of person to save the world, but he was that type of person would just, save you from the burglar. He was the guardian of the city, the hood, if you want to say. And it's just, he was just a great character. It was like let's see here, that's okay, 35. He was that relief of stories like from Fantastic Four and Avengers, or Justice League. I mean, he was that guy who was just basically your neighborhood superhero, and I just liked him. I really, really did. He, of course, he's also a superhero that what gets me is that, and he's probably one of the rare ones that his original costume design has changed compared to what he is in now. Because you've seen in that very first one, I don't want to go back, but it was yellow, and then they changed it, and he's been stuck. This is his icon costume design that he's just been stuck with, and that you know him by now. It's his trademark. Okay, this is a really good one where he actually goes against Captain America. You always love to see those series because you'd be wondering who's the better fighter, be Captain America or Daredevil. But I just love these books. I mean, like I said, I got maybe 20 more. The great thing about it, the 20 I'm missing are newer books, because there was a point where I did drop them because I just found the stories. It wasn't much the stories. It's just more the artwork I felt lacked. I think sometimes it got to a point where some people were just doing the book just to get a paycheck, but there was no love in the character at all, like what Frank Miller did. And after a while, I dropped it. But right now, when I realized how close I was to having a complete set, I decided I'm going to go ahead and get the rest of these books. So, like I said, and the good thing about the ones I'm missing are basically a lot of the newer ones. I could go to my comic shop or my local comic book store and get these issues. They're not going to be too hard to get, but the ones that are hard to get, like anytime here's a little thing about if you're gonna, for me, like some sort of a completist when it comes to certain comic book, I like to try to get certain books. I want the full run. Daredevil is one of the books. I even though he was always like 11 or 12 in my collection, I do want to get the full run. Because I just realized I was so close to having complete. I said, man, might as well just get the entire run, So I'm like, I'm gonna be really excited about that to get that changed. I do have to once I get some time off to get these all in Mylar. So first, I think 50 I got in Mylar. I bought some more Mylar bags, and I'm gonna replace these. But just love the character, I met his movies were okay with Ben Affleck. I liked it. I didn't like Bullseye. I'm sorry, I didn't like the character. The actor was good, but I think the portrayal of how Bullseye was in that movie was pretty horrific. I hate to say that, but I thought it was. If you really see how Bullseye is, he is just this deadly character. He is the perfect match for Daredevil. I mean, come on, you gotta think, this is the guy who actually killed Elektra, but then no one really stays dead in the comic book universe. But I like the way that the run with Frank Miller did with this book and everything, and the character. Like I said, he was never ever boring. The character itself, but like I said, I am anxious to try to get the complete run for the rest of these because it really caught me off guard once I looked. I put the books in that program. I think it's CLZ Comics. I recommend it if you can't get it. It really helps out a lot, especially once you get yourself all the data and put it. I'm halfway done. I got maybe 10,000 books, maybe 10,000 or 11,000 books altogether. And right now, so far, I'm at 6,500. Oh, was that 100 already? Oh, that's 75. Okay. I got a couple more here for you. Okay, all right, here we go. Like I said, I got 6,000 put in my data bank so far. I still need to do the rest. It's a very tedious task, but once you get it done, it will be beneficial for me, because that way when I'm at the store and I see if I'm short of a book or if I want something, and then what's great about that program is that, like, I could type in Daredevil and I can type up a character's name, and they'll show me what all books that character is in this series. Like if I just typed in Bullseye, it would show me every issue that Bullseye's in, basically in the entire collection if I really wanted to, which is great. I wish that they would put it so that you can do that same thing with, like, you type in Daredevil, you type in key, and it will show you all the key issues that is properly in Daredevil and everything like that. Which I know they got that key collecting comics app that I do have that, so to help me out and everything like that. But like I said, Daredevil, he is one of my underdog superhero comics that I collected. That just he never really got boring. I never really lost interest in the character or in the book, so I was really amazed by how many of these books actually had almost had the complete run. There are some books I would like to get a complete run for my series, and there's some books I just probably want a part of the run. Like I would say, like Fantastic Four, I only want from 100 to the end. The first 100 I don't want. It's not that I'm not interested. It's just that Fantastic Four is a very, very popular book, and the characters are, of course, the first appearance of a lot of them, and they're very expensive to get. So, but usually if I do a run, if I can get the first 50 of anything, I'll try to get the complete run. And like I said, this is one of the ones I have that I'm close to almost complete, you know. So, and then once I do this, I'll probably do the same thing with Iron Man. Iron Man, I'm the same way with Iron Man. Iron Man was a book it was always within the top 10. I always kept collecting those. I almost have a complete run of those. Those I'm also, that I'm missing only, matter of fact, I think it's only 8 books, and I'll have a complete run of Iron Man. Not Tales of Suspense series, just the regular ones. But, you know, like I said, I'm only going to show the first 100, because I'll show the entire thing, and it would become for a long video. Unless people want to see it, I'll show it. But for right now, it's just the first 100, you know. But like I said, that's my Daredevils, and I'd like to see what you have. Just leave a comment down below, and if you can, give me a shout out on your channel, so I can get some other subscribers, or leave a comment down below, and I get back with you, so it makes more connection every day. I like to see what other people have and what's your interest, you know, and what comic books you like, or stuff that you thought was good or wrong with some of them. It's be interesting to hear from other people. So like I said, leave a comment below, and also too, like I said, give me a shout out from your channels to, you know, help me get some subscribers. I appreciate that. So this is Saudi Bottom. I hope you all having a nice day, and thank you, and I'll check y'all later.